billion in direct spending for defense, farm aid, and election administration. However, weighing in interest costs to service that new debt over the next decade, analysts shows the total cost to taxpayers will be $135 billion. Of course it will. Here to walk us through it all is the Vice President for the Federal Affairs at the National Taxpayers Union, Tommy Aiello. Tommy, tell me about this bill. Nice to see you on a Monday. Tell me about this bill. Do we like it? Do you not like it? What do you think?
Well, good afternoon. I wish I had better news, right? We're going back to what the Democrats tried to do, where we're spending all of this money. It's not offset. We're borrowing money from China that's going to have to be paid for by our children and grandchildren through higher taxes somewhere down the road. The Republicans, they want to spend $135 billion. That's not offset anywhere else in the budget. It's extremely concerning from our perspective because you have Republicans run on trying to get Washington's finances back in order, right? We're $40 trillion in debt. Put aside some of the good things in the bill. We need to make sure that Republicans are passing a bill that's fully paid for. That way we're not taking on any new debt. That should be the baseline if this bill were to move forward.
Yeah. But we will take on more debt. What are we at, $40 trillion? And that's just the debt that we put on the record. That's not the unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, which takes us up about 4 times that number. At this point, Tommy, this is a serious question. Where do we reach the point of no return? Because there has to be one. Or do we just never intend to pay this debt back and it's just an ongoing deal? It's like, you're renting the house, but you're never going to own it type thing.
It's so frustrating because you had Democrats had this Biden spending spree when they were in power. They spent trillions of dollars, more money on the debt. And unfortunately, it seems like those same principles are employed by the House Republican majority and the Senate majority. There's no bipartisan consensus to try and cut back spending. What the Republicans want to do here is leave an opportunity to fundamentally reform Washington on the table. The House Republicans, they've already passed tens of bills that have cracked down on waste, fraud, and abuse. They're awaiting action in the Senate. What Republicans can do here to pay for this bill that they want to do is crack down on the waste, fraud, and abuse. You can save hundreds of billions of dollars, fully offset this package, and return money back to the taxpayers. It's that simple. But unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be an appetite to do so. We need the fiscal conservatives in the House to stand strong and not vote for something that's going to burden our children and grandchildren with more debt.
So they also want to get some election integrity measures into this bill. I don't know how much they can sneak in. Of course, that'll be a roadblock for the Democrats. But it seems to me, Tommy, the Democrats are lining up to shut the government down again in September. Why not? It'll just be something that they can hammer on going into the midterms. It's not about fixing things. It's not about paying our debt properly. It's about winning an election so they can have power and spend your money. Sorry to be so jaded, but at some point you just look at it and go, you got to be kidding me.
It's absolutely ridiculous. This is the Democratic playbook. They want to obstruct, make sure President Trump doesn't get any wins, and at the same time, make it a political problem for Republicans. They want to go into an election year with the government shut down. That way they can blame Republicans. Now, what the Democrats they're doing here is they're saying, we don't want to continue on with the same level of spending. They want to defund ICE and CBP. Well, ICE and CBP, they're funded through the end of the Trump administration. So if they shut the government down, it'll be for absolutely nothing except to score some cheap political points at the expense of every taxpayer, every traveling person, and the people that rely on these government benefits. It's very, very disturbing. And unfortunately, the Democrats are showing us exactly who they are.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of Republicans are too, let's be honest. The failure, the lack of urgency to get things done when you have a pretty good feeling you're probably not going to control the House after the midterms, and there's just no sense of urgency. We're just going to take August off. We're going to go home, take vacation. If your business was being challenged, Tommy, you wouldn't take August off and go sit on a beach somewhere or go in district. Nonsense. They should stay in Washington, do their damn jobs, and get the work done. But hey, I'm just a taxpayer. Last word to you.
You're exactly right. The American people want to see their representatives in Washington fighting for them, lowering the cost of living, and making their lives better. If Republicans go on vacation in August and go on vacation in October, which they're planning to do, it'll be a complete waste of this Republican majority to fundamentally reform Washington, make it run better, return money back to taxpayers, and of course, balance our budget, which hasn't been balanced in over 30 years.
Yeah. Tommy Aiello, as I see from the National Taxpayers Union. Sir, thank you for being here.
Thank you.